Auras are for real. This is how science conclusively proves it by Azlan Adnan. This article confirms that auras, once dismissed as mystical or pseudoscientific, are in fact a real, measurable phenomenon. Thanks to advances in quantum biology and imaging technology, we now know that all living organisms emit an ultra-weak field of visible light, making them visible to sensitive instruments even though imperceptible to the human eye. Scientific findings and implications. Ultraweak photon emission, UPE, refers to the spontaneous emission of photons from living cells within the ultraviolet, UV, visible and near-infrared NIR range of 200 to 1,000 nanometers, nanometers. These emissions, significantly weaker than ordinary bioluminescence, are linked to metabolic processes and oxidative stress. They have been detected from humans, animals, and plants, especially during physiological stress or transition states, e.g., life, death, or photosynthesis. The pioneering work by Simon and Oblak at the University of Calgary has played a significant role in validating the existence and persistence of UPE in biological systems. In their recent study, imaging ultraweak photon emission from living and dead mice and from plants under stress, the research team used two advanced imaging technologies, EMCCD, electron multiplying charge-coupled device, and CCD, charge-coupled devices, to capture these emissions in real time. Whereas traditional CCDs detect light by converting it into an electrical signal, EMCCDs amplify even the faintest signals, making it possible to image the extremely low-intensity photon emissions that define UPE. This capacity enabled the researchers to visualize subtle changes in the photon emission patterns from living mice, recently deceased mice, and plants under physiological duress, such as when cut, dehydrated, or exposed to harsh conditions. Validating ancient knowledge. Ancient systems of medicine and spiritual traditions, from Chinese qi to Indian prana to Kirlian photography in 20th century parapsychology, have long described an energetic aura surrounding living beings. These were often dismissed as metaphorical or mystical by mainstream science. The discovery and empirical measurement of UPE offer a bridge between these long-standing traditions and contemporary biology. Notably, UPE has been observed to vary with emotional, physical, and mental states. For instance, studies at Kyoto University demonstrated that stress, meditation, and circadian rhythms modulate the intensity and localization of photon emissions. The highest levels of UPE in humans are typically observed around the face and hands, correlating with regions of elevated metabolic activity. UPE in plants and death. The experiments conducted on barley and maize plants under stress demonstrated that UPE levels spike during damage or decay. When a plant leaf is cut, it emits a transient burst of light. Similarly, after a mouse has died, UPE does not vanish immediately. Instead, emissions gradually decay, suggesting that biochemical activity, particularly oxidative reactions, persists even post-mortem. This finding challenges the traditional binary of life versus death, and instead supports the idea of death as a gradual biochemical unwinding. The persistence of UPE after death also hints at potential medical applications, such as using UPE to identify early stages of disease, cell damage, or even to determine time of death. Future implications. Beyond merely proving the aura's existence, the discovery of UPE opens up potential diagnostic and monitoring applications in healthcare and agriculture. Photon emissions could serve as early warning signals for disease, inflammation, or stress, enabling non-invasive, real-time monitoring. Already, Japanese research institutions are investigating UPE's role in cancer detection. Further interdisciplinary research could also yield more accurate biofeedback systems, more refined stress monitoring in therapy, or crop stress diagnostics in precision agriculture. Moreover, linking the intensity and wavelength profile of UPE to specific physiological states could one day allow us to visualize emotions, pain, or healing. Conclusion. The scientific recognition of ultraweak photon emission provides robust evidence that living organisms emit a faint field of light, what ancient traditions have long called an aura. This revelation not only validates centuries of metaphysical knowledge, but also opens the door to innovative technological and therapeutic applications. As quantum biology, biophotonics, and imaging technologies continue to evolve, we are poised to understand life not just in chemical or electrical terms, but in luminous, energetic ones as well. References: 1. Salari v. Seshan v. Frankle L. England D. Simon C. and Oblak D. 2023. Imaging ultraweak photon emission from living and dead mice and from plants under stress. University of Calgary, Department of Physics and Astronomy. 2. Kobayashi M. et al. 2009. In vivo imaging of spontaneous ultraweak photon emission from a rat's brain correlated with cerebral energy metabolism and oxidative stress. Neuroscience Research. 3. Van Wyk R. 2001. Biophotons and Biocommunication. Journal of Scientific Exploration. 4. Prasad A. and Pospisil P. 2011. Towards the two-dimensional imaging of spontaneous ultraweak photon emission from microbial, plant, and animal cells. Scientific Reports.